Okay, so for homework 10, our assignment was to modify our homework 9 FSM, whether it be the traffic light or the vending machine, and augment it so that it reflects one of the changes below. Um, the change for this video, I'll be talking about number 4, modifying the vending machine so that it keeps track of how many items have been purchased. Also, in my code, you will see an attempt at trying to implement the timeout, which is selection number 5. However, I was unsuccessful with that, so just ignore some of those components that will be in there, the code. Okay, so this is the code itself. So just starting at the top, we have our libraries, our entity. It's basically the same thing as homework 9. However, some of the additional things that were added was the amount sold here. Again, the timer's here, but just ignore that. The amount sold here, I have it as a 5 big vector. I just picked a number, honestly. I think that's 5 bits, so that'd be like 32 selections, or yeah, I just picked whatever for the sake of the example. And then we still have pretty much everything else for our state types and our signals. We did add the cell signal, and we have that starting out at 0, 0, 0. So just talking about this line here. But yeah, so we have our state type signals, our output signals, and then go into the reset and clock process. Again, pretty much everything's the same. The main modification that I added was down here when we're actually vending or dispensing our items. I just made it so that when we dispense our items, we add 1 to our counter to keep track of how many items have been sold. So right here is state 8, our output is 1, that's when we dispense. The item sold count increases by 1 here, and no change is given. And for state 9, if we end up in state 9 where change is given, it's the same thing where our output is dispensed, and we increase the count by 1. So, and that's pretty much it. This down here again was just my process for the timer, but that didn't go the way I wanted to. So moving on to the test bench. So again, similar to the previous one as well. The only thing that was really changed was our, again, sold here, our sold count, as well as our signal, and then routing them together here. And then our clock process, I just have it really not moving at all in the beginning. Again, because I was trying to do the thing with the timer, but it was unsuccessful. So this will reflect just going for 300 seconds, nothing's really happening, but then after that having our case for our nickels, our dimes, and then a case for both nickels and dimes. And then we move on to the simulation. So here, starting off, I'm just going to really mainly talk about the item counter, because everything else is pretty much similar. So this is our just time when we're not really doing anything, just trying to get the timer to work. Here's our nickel process. We get to the certain amount of nickels, then we vend, and right after we vend, we count 1. So you see it's reflecting 1, and then here we have our dime process. We vend, and then again we count to the next increment, I guess, or we increment by 1. Then here's nickels and dime process, and then when we vend, our counter goes up 1 more again. So keeping track of the amount of items that have been sold or dispensed.